I wanted to do a quick video with you to kind of quickly go through the department syllabus for this course. I'm not going to read through every part of the syllabus. You certainly have the document there for you to read yourself, but I just wanted to do a kind of quick video to kind of hit some of the highlights. Prerequisites, the key thing in chemistry is that your math skills are appropriate. That way you don't fight a battle on the math front. And the chemistry front, it's very difficult to win a kind of two-front war. So, your prerequisites is generally assume that this is not your first ever chemistry course, that you've either had chemistry in high school or an introductory chemistry course, and that you have the appropriate math background in order to be successful. So your required textbooks, it's Gilbert 6th edition, and the cheapest way of finding this is directly from the publisher's website. So that's where you would go to find the textbook. There's lots of different formats, digital, paper, whatnot. Face-to-face students, that doesn't apply to us, except you do need a calculator, even if you're online. For being we are online, you will be ordering a laboratory kit. Instructions on how to do that are in the introductory module, so you'll be able to see that. I'm not going to read through the core competencies or the course learning outcomes. You can certainly read through that material yourself. The grading standard, this is the department-wide grading standard of what percentage matches up with which letter grade. Okay? Standard rounding rules apply. 0.5 rounds up, 0.4 does not round up. It's course content, some things we're going to be kind of dealing with. We don't have to worry about laboratory sections because you're not in a face-to-face lab. You do have to independently pass both the lecture and the lab portion of the course. Reason being for that is your transcript does not split the credits. It doesn't say 4 credits lecture, 1 credit lab. It just lists it at 5. But because those credits come from 2 different sources, you have to make sure that you have passed each of those components. All standard college rules and policies apply. You can kind of look up those as need be. Notification for students with disabilities. If you think in any way, shape, or form that applies to you, please make sure you contact me so we can talk about that. And then the rest of this document is kind of what you would expect in a syllabus. It kind of breaks down the content into various units. This is the first unit, what chapters go into that first unit. So unit 1 has chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 in it. And then the kind of format of this is on the left, it lists the learning objectives, things you're going to learn how to do in that unit, in that chapter. And then on the right, it's those things that you're going to be actively doing in order to learn those objectives. So which sections of the textbook, which chapters, which sections apply to that learning objective, along with some recommended end of chapter problems to check yourself on that. And that's the way the rest of this syllabus is kind of written out. You can see the various things you're going to be learning, what sections of the book should you be looking at to make sure you have kind of read up on those things, as well as what are some recommended problems to kind of check yourself on. Now, when you're thinking about doing the problems, you want to be smart about, doing the problems. You might need to do more problems than what's listed. This department syllabus is a recommendation. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. You may be looking at some of this and saying, gee, there's 8 problems of a specific type. After you've already done 2 of them, if you know when you got the material and when you don't have the material, if you know you got it after 2 or 3, doing the other 5 or 6 doesn't necessarily help you. It's busy work. It's kind of consuming time without giving you any outcome for that. At the same time, you can't also just kind of go through and say, well, I've done those recommended problems and say, I must be good. Well, if you are struggling through those problems, that's your indication that you need to do more. Maybe some that weren't assigned, checking in with me for some additional things, other problems in the book. So those are all things to kind of think about when you're doing problems, is you're tailoring that to what you need. Sometimes you may need more than what this department syllabus lists. Sometimes you may not need as much. Sometimes you get it very, very quickly, and the additional problems are just kind of consuming your time. So you want to be smart about how you use this document, but this is what you're referring to of, hey, what should I be reading in the textbook? What should I be trying to make sure that we can do in terms of additional problems to make sure that, yes, I understand that material. But again, you want to tailor those problems to you. Sometimes it may take more than what's listed. Other times it may take less. So this is just a kind of document that you can always kind of have pulled up to say, okay, I finished unit 1, I'm working on unit 2. Well, if I'm working on unit 2, what does unit 2 entail? Well, chapters 4 and chapter 7. Okay, well, I better start working on those pieces then. So that's how you want to use this document. So we just want to do a real quick video to kind of get you thinking about how to use this department syllabus and what kind of information that contains.